All right, I'm back. It's Bill with the 120s. I promised you I'd talk about suspension and stuff on these, so I'm going to give you a quick rundown. Shouldn't be more than a 5-minute video. Personally, I've done 5 bikes with forks where I put in either like a gold valve emulator and new springs. I'm about 220 pounds. Most bikes are made for about 160, 170 pound person. Typically, they're pretty soft. So I've done 5 bikes. I've used different brands. When you add up everything you got to put into a front fork, the YSS kit actually ends up being fairly inexpensive. So, with that said, I went with the YSS front and back. I did 2 bikes. I drilled out the front damper rods because that's what I've done on every other bike. Every other bike was a tremendous improvement once that was done. So for a little while, what I did, just kind of test the theory of what guys talk about out there, is all I did was take out the spring and the spacer, and I dropped in the emulator and the spring and put on the top caps with the preload caps. So there was a difference, but it's not much. The problem is when you hit a bump or a square bump, which is the fast bumps, that fork can't compress because of the damper rod on the bottom. I've got pictures I can put out there of the damper rod. The hole on the bottom, which is what works your compression when you hit a bump, is very small. It's the smallest one I've had in any of the bikes I've had. Now, a damper rod essentially is this guy right here. And you can see this is out of my CB1100, and you can see this one's been drilled. So you can see what the difference is. The hole that came on the interceptors, I don't know, it's less than a 16th of an inch. So what that means is your fluid, when you push down the fork, that fluid has to go through that little tiny hole or pair of holes. So what happens is as you hit a bump and it needs to go faster, it tries to push that fluid through that hole and it can't, and that's what makes the fork hard. The fork starts to firm up as the fluid tries to go faster. So when you drill them out, you de-restrict or unrestrict the flow of the oil, and then the emulator takes over as a valve. That's a basic theory behind it, and it works. So if you look at on the Continental, these are the fork caps on the top. So I'm going to tell you how I did it, because every other bike I ever did, I pulled the forks off. I was dreading pulling a headlight assembly and everything. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I just did the forks on the bike. Now, I had to pull the front wheel off because you got to get to the bottom bolt underneath. And this is all on video. I don't have to show you a big video. Pull that. Got to have a tray up below it because it's going to spill all the oil out of it. Okay. And then with the cap off, spring out, everything out of there, I made a specialty tool that looks just like this. This is a hanger, an old cheap metal hanger. So what I did was I looped the bottom. You could see I got just a little tiny barb on the end. Stick that down the fork, right into that damper rod, right into the top, and it'll catch it. You can pull it right back out of the fork. At which point the rest of the fluid will pop out. And then you're good to go. You can drill your emulator out, put it right back in. You got to go in on the bottom and kind of straighten it with, I made another specialty tool. That one looks just like this. And all that does is help me reach up in the hole and slide the damper rod. If you do it like that, you're going to understand once you figure it out. Super, super easy, and I didn't have to pull the front end off. It was great. I cut the time by a lot. Rear, obviously, the rear suspension, easy, 2 bolts. I got a center stand on my GT because I wanted display-wise, when I take them to bike nights and stuff, I set them next to each other up on the stands, and I didn't want one sitting on a side stand. So for me, it's a little easier because I got a center stand and you can pop them shocks off about 2 minutes a piece. Other things that I've done is, now, before what I've done, these came with, accessory-wise, they came with the belly pan, they came with the mirrors, they came with shorty screen, they came with the fork gaiters, they came with these on the fuel injection, they came with kick plates, and they came with bars, they came with spools, if you can see those. What else they come with? 2 seats. So it came with this seat on the Continental and the back with the gold hand painted stripes also. So that came with it. And then it came with the factory Continental seat in brown, just like that. So really cool. Came with 2 seats, so you got kind of your choice. This is a really cool seat. It is very skinny and hard, and you sit right on your sit bones, which quite frankly makes that a better riding bike. But you gotta understand that. I kind of did the same stuff to the Interceptor, except for, as I said in the last video, I put my Triumph bar end mirrors on it because I had them. And in the US, those bar end mirrors are $250. So I had them, so I saved the money. Same thing here though. You don't have the kick plates on this one. You have these. You have the engine guards, fork gaiters. On this one, I put a dart screen because I wanted a little bit taller screen on it. And I really, really dig the way the dart screen mounts up underneath the speedometer instead of going through the headlight. Also on this one, sweet fix. I didn't want to bend over quite as much. 57 years old, got a bad back, got bad knees, got all kinds of stuff. So I put Meteor 350 bars on it. You have to drill out the hole for the signals. Not a big deal. It took about 30 seconds each hole. But it was able to sweep them back just a little bit more and up just a little bit, which really helped out the ride. The dual touring seat, the new one that just came out, beautiful seat. My wife really likes it. She's got a lot more room and it's wider. The seat that came with it is pretty skinny, but looks good and it's brown, but whatever. When we ride, we ride. What else? You can see the Triumph bar end mirrors. I don't even know if they say Triumph on them somewhere. Nobody would know. Same thing on the forks. If you look, any of you paying really good attention, the silver caps are on it. I apologize for that. When I put those on, I will give you a tip if you're going to do this job. When you do these, do not thread them all the way in because then this base doesn't spin. So what happened was it started to mar up my threads. So if you look really close, you can see a little bit of silver. So I drilled out the forks, put the silver caps back on, and drove on until I figured out what to do. Well, since then, I've fixed the threads on those, but I did get another set. Those are hard as heck to get. So I do have a new set, plus my old ones. I don't know which ones I'm going to put in. I don't know if I'll put those in and sell those. If they would sell these, guys would benefit enormously. Just preload on the front would help this bike go down the road. What else? What else I got to tell you guys about this? I haven't done anything to the engine. I don't necessarily have any plans on it. I dig the black exhaust, and there isn't really a good looking black exhaust out there. So I don't have a whole lot of interest in putting silver exhaust on. We'll see how as time goes. There are a couple of black ones out there. It's not that important to me. I like the quiet ride just as much as I like a loud ride. I don't want to put up with the loud when you're driving. I do have another one of these headlights on order for that one. It's a huge difference out there in the nighttime. I don't ride that much in the night, but it's huge. There you can kind of see that black chrome. Honestly, it's almost bronze. And when you match the brown grips, when the brown seats on it, it's amazing. Amazing. Let's see if you can see it on this one. So you got the brown. Tough with that light up there. Tough with that light. I will tell you this, just like I put in the comments on the last one. I have tried on Facebook. There's a few different 120 Facebook sites, and I put it out there 3 or 4 times. Is there anybody else anywhere that has a matching numbered pair? I can't find another matching pair. So it's entirely possible that this is the only matching pair in the world, numbered matching. I know of 2 other people only that have pairs. There's a guy in Oklahoma, he's a dealer, and there's a guy in Australia. Both those guys have one of each, if they still have them. So, if they still have them, there's 3 of us that I know of. If they don't have them, there's less than that. I kind of say if it's one matching pair, I'm one of a lot of people. So, this is a one-off deal, which is kind of why I wanted to get these out. I'm not saying they're worth billions of dollars. I'm just saying they're really cool. Again, I'll just kind of show you. Continental, number 2. Walk over to the Interceptor. Also, number 2. There's that whole insignia. And that's under clear coat. It's all under clear coat. Guys, in the sunlight, these things are amazing. I get a lot of conversation about these. I will tell you this. I was at a bike day one day, and if this guy looks and watches this, he'll understand. I parked the Interceptor, and then he pulled up and parked his chrome in red, and everybody went to his chrome in red. Everybody. All I could do is watch people go, "Oh my God, that bike is amazing looking." And I kept thinking to myself, yeah, but what about me? So anyway, not that sensitive. It was funny. But that's all I got. Any other questions you got, if you want to put it in the comments below, that'd be awesome. I can do a video on anything. I'm retired, got lots of time on my hands, and I'll put out whatever you want to put out. It's just snowing right now, so you're not getting any riding videos right now. Appreciate you looking in again. Thank you much.